Tonight on CTV News, the coronavirus cancels classes. See how this affects students.
Then an update from ASCSU and how their meetings are being affected by the campus closure.
And finally, find how people at CSU are competing with cars.
Well, it's official. Colorado State University is moving their classes online because of the coronavirus. I'm Edgar Cedillo.
And I'm Lauren Orcutt. President Joyce McConnell sent out an email yesterday to students notifying them that classes after spring break would move online for 1 week.
That's right, Lauren. So as far as spring break goes, it's still in effect for the week that it was planned, but break has been extended for an extra 2 days until March 24th.
And as far as classes resuming, the university has decided to move classes online until April 10th, depending on the situation at that time.
So even though classes are canceled, the university buildings are still open, including all academic buildings, the health center, residence halls, the veterinary teaching hospital, and the Morgan Library will still be open for campus members only, though.
And Edgar, clearly with spring break starting this weekend, travel is a huge concern for the university. All international and domestic travel is suspended from March 23rd through April 10th. Now, if you do plan on traveling, CSU does have a travel guideline. You can check out the information at safety.colostate.edu.
So when classes do resume the week after break, the administration released some guidelines for on and off campus events. So from March 23rd to April 10th, events with 20 or more people are suspended. Any event that is targeted at high-risk populations is also suspended. So that means any event targeted towards older adults or with medical conditions are canceled.
Now, of course, there is no guarantee that classes will resume in person on April 13th. But you can stay up to date through the university alerts, and we will, of course, be bringing you the latest on our social media at CTV11 on Twitter and Instagram. Now, this announcement obviously came to a shock to many students as classes are being moved online. CTV reporter Remy Kalbell went out to find out how students reacted to this news. Remy?
Thanks, Edgar and Lauren. You know, emotions were really mixed on campus, so I went to the Laurie Student Center to learn more. So, what are your thoughts on classes moving online?
I don't really know yet. I think it'll be a really funny adjustment because I enjoy going to class and being in person with the professor. So I think it will be a little challenging.
Personally, it means that the value of my education this semester goes down a little bit because half of my classes are lab-based and those just won't be a thing once we go online. Obviously, we might come back to campus, but it's not looking good right now, and I doubt we will. So it makes me a little apprehensive as to the quality of my knowledge this year.
Students that are brand new to being in college, things like that, this could be pretty tough on. They could either give up, and it definitely opens a channel for cheating.
Students at CSU are making the most out of this situation, but it'll be interesting to see how CSU moves forward.
Well, it's definitely been interesting to see how everyone's reacting to this on campus.
Definitely.
Well, with elections coming up for ASCSU that were set to begin on March 23rd, they are now postponed until April 13th. Voting will take place beginning on April 20th and will go through the 22nd. According to elections manager Connor Cheadle, he warns that the campaigns should still be wary in case they get pushed back for a couple more days. For more on last night's Senate session, let's go over to our CTV Senate reporter Kenneth Frederick for more. Kenny?
Last night, the Senate had guest speakers and went through 3 bills in their meeting last night. The night was full of controversial topics and hot debate among the senators.
At this time, the 21st session of the 49th Senate of the Associated Students of Colorado State University is called to order.
Rocky Mountain Student Media kicked off the Senate meeting with their presentation about their functions and finances in hopes of getting more funding in their next contract with the ASCSU president. Though the Senate won't officially have an effect on the contract negotiations, President Amundsen still wants the Senate's input. The Senate also voted on their new Internal Affairs chair, with Senators Hill, Overturf, and Hazelton running for the position. Support from the other senators was with Hazelton, who was also supported by Tristan Reyes, who was the former chair. Hazelton was a big supporter of getting more members from other academic colleges.
I want to start bringing in more people, and I think Internal Affairs is a great way to do that because I know we currently have empty Senate seats, whether that be a senator or associate senator, and I think it's really important for the representation of our colleges to have the max amount of representation.
Hazelton won the position almost unanimously, with 36 votes and only 2 senators abstaining from voting. The first bill debated was from the new real estate club on campus. They were asking for $1,000 to fund food and custom shirts to help spread awareness for the club. Senator Benitez in particular said that it was unfair because the club he participates in has to do its own fundraising.
So how can you devalue all that work that my club puts in just by coming here asking for cord adhesives and food when we have to fundraise all that money for ourselves?
The entrepreneurial competition bill got a lot of support again from the Senate, and funding was passed very quickly. Another bill to be passed quickly and without a lot of discussion was the Senate Document Modernization Bill.
Last night, there was talk about what would happen with the Senate. But Blake Alfred, the Speaker of the Senate, said that the Senate would be canceling all Senate sessions during the time that classes are online. We'll bring you more information as we get closer to the end of online classes.
Thank you, Kenneth. The coronavirus is having a major impact on sports across the country and is now beginning to trickle down to the college and high school level.
That's right, Lauren. The Colorado High School Sports and Athletic Association suspended all spring sports for the remainder of the season. For more on the impact that the virus is having on CSU sports, let's head over to sports anchor James Hall. James?
That's right, Edgar and Lauren. The Mountain West Conference decided earlier today that they are going to suspend all spring sports for the foreseeable future. With the number of positive cases of the coronavirus climbing, the conference, as well as the universities, have decided that the best course of action would be to limit the amount of traveling done by student athletes. More information will be released when available about the continuation of spring sports across all college conferences.
Thank you, James. Colorado officials announced that the number of cases in Colorado has gone up to 49. At a press conference with Governor Polis, he said that the mountain region is at a high risk for the virus spreading. In the conference, Polis announced that the state is ordering employers to give up to 4 days of paid leave for those who have flu-like symptoms.
That's right, Lauren. And it's not just across CSU that we're being affected by the virus closure, but across the state, schools around the state are also being closed. The only one that switched to online classes recently was the University of Northern Colorado, which moved their classes until at least April 6th. The University of Colorado Boulder also moved their classes online for the remainder of the semester. Today I spoke with Rob Tan, the editor-in-chief at the at the CU Independent, who told me that students there were in shock by how fast the classes moved online yesterday. Since classes moved online for the rest of the semester at CU, seniors there are worried about graduation, and the first years were left to wonder whether or not to stay on campus or go back home. But don't go away just yet. We'll bring you more update on the news in Fort Collins.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back.
When you want to talk, I'm here.
Welcome back from the break, Rams. Farmland in Northeast Fort Collins will soon be filled with 4,000 homes as a developer got approval for the project. The developer, Max Moss, has already filed the plans for the first phase, which will start with 200 homes. Now, these homes will vary in size and capacity as Moss plans to fill the space with townhomes, cottages, and single-family housing. He plans to make these homes affordable for future Fort Collins homeowners.
A mountain lion attacked a Lamar County Sheriff's deputy and a civilian yesterday. The incident took place west of Loveland, where the deputy and the hiker were taken to the hospital with apparent but non-life-threatening injuries. According to Colorado Parks and Wildlife, the mountain lion was shot, but it was unclear who shot it. This makes it the second mountain lion attack in Lamar County in less than 1 year.
The Northern Colorado Regional Airport has hit a big milestone that was 55 years in the making. For the first time, they will have an air traffic controller guiding planes in and out of the airport. This was one of their last obstacles in restarting regular commercial flights in northern Colorado.
If you've ever been stuck on I-25 during the rush hour right on the Harmony exit, you're not alone. Traffic often stops at this exit and leaves drivers feeling uneasy by being completely stopped on the interstate. This is causing dangerous issues being addressed this spring by CDOT, which will be adding an additional turn lane as a part of the $600 million I-25 North Express Lanes project. According to Jared Field, the CDOT spokesperson, the interchange will see upgraded traffic signals as well.
Manual transmission cars are almost a thing of the past, and automatic cars might be heading in that direction, as some models now have self-driving features and are even completely autonomous. Right here on campus, students are figuring out exactly how the science works behind these self-driving vehicles. It's called the Eco Car Challenge, and Professor Sadeep Pesricha leads students in this national competition.
This project involves teams of students, mechanical engineering students, working on the engines and trying to convert the vehicle into a more eco-friendly, like a hybrid electric type of a vehicle. And then we have computer engineering students that are working on the intelligence inside the vehicle. And so we, together with my students, we are actually working on creating an autonomous vehicle.
Now, CSU is one of 12 universities that is participating in this challenge. They have 4 years to take a car and make it autonomous and learn a thing or two about this new technology.
It's actually a perfect sort of gateway for students to work on and do hands-on research with real platforms that will have an impact on our daily lives.
So Edgar, do you think that you would ever get behind one of these cars?
Well, it's hard to say. I like driving really fast, so we all know that.
Right.
But I don't know, like the thought of a self-driving car seems really cool to me. So honestly, like I've always wanted to, and I'm like the fact that it's close to us, I really would.
Exactly. I definitely think I would. I know my dad would love it because I know he doesn't think that I'm a good driver. So he would love that idea. I think that I'm going to stick with my stick.
Yeah,
so.
Honestly, it might give us a chance to just eat and drive.
Exactly.
It's not that bad. Well, before we go tonight, Alex has some positive news about some new pups. Alex?
That's right, Edgar and Lauren. Some puppies at CSU are helping Fort Collins community find out how after break.
Dad?
Just 1 minute, okay?
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
What's up, everyone? I'm Alexandria Cullen, filling in for Kristen McAllister. So without further ado, let's dive right into it. Anger toward the coronavirus became a little more personal with people yesterday. Movie star Tom Hanks and his wife Rita Wilson both tested positive for the virus in Australia, where Hanks was set to begin filming a new movie. Hanks posted to his Instagram that he and his wife weren't feeling well and got tested to be safe, when it turned out that he and her were both infected. Hanks says they will be under watch as long as necessary and will keep the world posted on their condition. In classic Hanks fashion, he says, quote, "Not much more than a one day at a time approach." No? On brighter sides of things, puppies. Now that I have your attention, puppies and dogs have a Paws on Deck to help the Fort Collins community. A CSU program known as Collar Scholars trains dogs to help those who struggle with disabilities. The dogs are trained to help in 5 different levels of support. These levels include service dogs for adults, hearing dogs, PTSD support for veterans, companions for children, and facility dogs that work in places such as courts and police stations. Right now, CSU is raising 12 dogs to be helping the community in the future. This is clearly a huge part of the Fort Collins culture, and this is demonstrated through an event that's ending soon.
Great Plates is putting the fun in fundraiser. For the past 15 years, the Larimer County Food Bank has been partnering with the Downtown Business Association and various restaurants around Fort Collins in order to promote this event.
We look at it as one of our favorite events of the year because obviously it involves food. It's a great opportunity for people to experience restaurants they might not have an opportunity to try throughout the year.
Over 40 restaurants are participating in Great Plates, where they create a special menu or discounted item and donate 100% of the proceeds to the food bank.
It's a $25 menu item. So the way it's set up is when you go to a restaurant, you can get, a lot of them offer 2 dinners for $25. So we're offering a $2.50 ice cream sandwich, which is normally $3.50, so they're saving $1, but then we're asking every transaction to round up.
Although this event does require a little more work on the part of the restaurants, the community is always happy to support each other.
It does allow us to get out in the community to showcase what we're doing. Of course, it allows people to support the food bank, but it's also that representation of us in the community.
We are so excited to be a part of it and to be a part of Fort Collins just as a whole. I love where I live. I love where I live.
If you want to find more information about Great Plates or to find out how to get resources from the food bank, you can visit their website at foodbanklarimer.org. Finally, Fort Collins has a challenge for you. The city has made a new Earth Day challenge for residents of Fort Collins to lose 5,000 pounds of carbon by April 22nd. Climate change is always a hot topic, and the city wants to do its part in helping the environment. The challenges encourages people to do little things as much as possible, like driving less, lower heat usage, or change energy efficient light bulbs. This is a part of a much bigger plan to be one of the most environmentally friendly cities on the map. So, are you up for the challenge? For the last part of the show, I will be taking over Krista's catch. Krista and I found a cute little Italian restaurant, which is our favorite catch of the week.
Gelato and Mora is bringing Italian flavor to Fort Collins. As soon as I walked into the store, I saw a glass case full of gelato and I was instantly excited. There was a lot of rustic-looking decor and a lot of beautiful food made up the rest of the decorations. For today's fun fact, I asked the owner, Paul Pellegrino, what the difference is between ice cream and gelato.
Ice cream is made with cream, and gelato is made with milk. There's 70% less milk fat in gelato, but it doesn't mean that there's any less calories. There's less air whipped into gelato. That's why, although made with milk, it is denser and creamier, and that's why the flavors are so much more intense.
After hearing this description, we were ready to try some gelato.
Here we are trying the fig, ricotta, and walnut gelato, and I'm very excited. Apparently this is all of the rage in Rome right now. Oh my gosh.
Oh, that one just is so smooth. It hits you all at once. It's like, I almost taste like a toffee flavor. Very nutty, but overall really good.
The owner said that it does taste a little bit like brandy. So it does kind of have that like more like rich, deep, yeah. It's just, the flavors come at you like all at once, but then it just has like layers of flavor. So 1 second you'll taste the ricotta, at the next second you'll taste the fig, and then at the next you'll taste the walnut, and you're like, I forgot the walnut was in here, but it's amazing.
Based on my experience, I give gelato and Mora a 5 out of 5 star rating. These flavors, straight from Rome, were so rich and honestly just off the charts. I would 10 out of 10 go again. Now, after the break, Litos has your spring break weather forecast.
So there you are, shuffling through a stack of resumes, and you come to mine. This is it. First impression. My way in. But here's the thing. Can my resume show you how I truly stand out? Can one piece of paper really tell you my whole story? Like that I was studying, going to night school while working 2 jobs just to help my parents pay for groceries. Or how anytime there was an opportunity, I was the first one to step up. Because I wasn't gonna let my life, my circumstances dictate who I was gonna become. And all of that determination, the commitment, the drive, that's me. And that's something you just can't put on paper. Look beyond the resume and discover new ways to develop great talent like me.
How's it going, Rams? I'm Litos Castro filling in for Sophia tonight, and I've got the weather forecast coming up for you going into spring break. So without further ado, let's get rolling right into it. Let's take a look at your current conditions right now. It's going to be a little bit chilly. You saw that today. 39 degrees is where we're at right now with the wind at 8 miles per hour towards that southwest side for you. But what was it like on campus? Well, kind of what we're looking at right now. A little bit chillier across the campus there. Lots of gloomy overcast for you. A lot of clouds. Didn't get to see much of the sun that we saw throughout the rest of the day for you. But a little bit, a little bit chilly. I had to bundle up in between classes for you. But you get through it. You get through it. Taking a look at your overnight lows, it's going to get pretty cool across the state. You're going to start on the western side here. 39 in Grand Junction. You're going to see 22 in Gunnison and Craig. Once you get towards the I-25 corridor, you're going to see lower 30s just across the highway for you. Then you hit the eastern side. You're going to be looking at Lyman at 26 degrees and 28 in Sterling. In Burlington, the highest at Lamar highest Lamar, 31 degrees on that southeast side. What's it looking like across the state for tomorrow, though? Still a little bit cold for you. Grand Junction at 53, going to be the highest in the state. And then you're going to see colder temperatures again once you hit the mountains. 41 in Telluride, Gunnison, and Craig for you. Just really picking up the colder temperatures there. And then once you get towards the front range, you're going to see Colorado Springs at 35 degrees, 41 in Denver. Just fluctuating temperatures once you hit the center of the state. And then once you get towards the plains one more time, 34 degrees in Lyman, 36 Burlington. Lamar takes the cake again, 41 as your highest tomorrow on that eastern side. What's it looking like for Collins? It's going to be quite chilly again for you. High is going to be 40, low 27 degrees, and that's going to be accompanied by some rain and snow showers for you. Wind's going to be picking up even more than what it is right now, 12 miles per hour towards that northeast side. Your sunset going to be around the same time that it was today. Your 5-day forecast, well, you start low, and then you start to pick it up even higher as you go throughout the rest of the 5-day. Like we said, 40 degrees to start you off, but then it just starts to pick up. 51 on Saturday, 58 Sunday. You hit your peak on Monday at 63, and then you cool it back down on Tuesday at 57 degrees. Your lows, actually, they pick up all the way as you go across the week and just as you finish up on Tuesday. That's all I've got in the weather for you, but don't go anywhere because we've got sports with James Hall. He's going to be talking about everything that's happening or not happening, in this case, after the break.
Yo, Scott.
Hey.
I'm heading out, man. You want to ride?
No, I got my car, but I actually really need to go to the bathroom.
Oh, you know what? I was just in there. The line is like 10 people long.
I think I'll just...
Dude, are you okay?
You wouldn't believe what I was just thinking. I am definitely buzzed.
Yeah.
I think I will take this, and I will take that ride home.
Smart man.
Did you see how that dog was looking at me?
Howdy Rams! The coronavirus has done more than just move classes to online when we get back from spring break. The sporting world has been turned upside down, with many cancellations coming in its wake. I'm James Hall, and welcome to the one and only Thursday Wrap-Up. The CSU men's basketball team was looking forward to an opportunity to extend their season past the conference tourney with an invitation to the College Basketball Invitational. But CBI was canceled on Tuesday. With the Invitational, the Rams season has officially come to a close. When asked about the cancellation, Coach Niko Medved had some things to say. In the statement, Medved shared his disappointment about not being able to play in the postseason. He understands that this move was made for the betterment of everyone's health and well-being, but will miss coaching the team from this season. He also wanted to let his players know how proud he was of everyone that was on this team. While the entire team and coaching staff is disappointed by the cancellation of the tournament, every other college program is feeling the same pain. NCAA has decided that all remaining spring and winter tournaments are to be canceled. This is due to their understanding that it would be detrimental to the health and well-being of student athletes, and they want to ensure that they aren't contributing to the spread of the pandemic. However, despite the scare of the coronavirus, the soccer team took on the Colorado School of Mines yesterday in Canvas Stadium. With the news that spring sports are suspended until further notice, this might be the first and only time the soccer team plays in Canvas this year. It might also be the last time this exact team plays together for some time. However, the game went on, and the matchup with the Orediggers didn't go the Rams' way, falling 2-1. CTV's own Hunter Fillmore and Jason Ortiz were able to catch up with Gracie Armstrong, the player who scored the only goal after the game.
I think we have a lot of work to do. I think that we don't quite have the chemistry. I feel like we lost some pretty key players. But I feel like once we do put in a little bit of that work, we'll be fine.
Hunter and Jason were also able to get a hold of Bill Hempen, the head coach, to share his thoughts on what he saw.
A first spring game. We've been toiling away indoors, and we can only get about 8-a-side because we had an 8-a-side event a couple weekends ago. So this is our first outdoor event without, the seniors who had such an impact last year. And it was just kind of getting used to each other. We certainly played. There were moments we were really good. There were moments we were very hectic. But hey, it's a new team, and we're trying to find our way right now.
The team had hoped of meshing together as the season continued, but the chances of that happening are slim with the direction the Mountain West Conference has gone. With the Mountain West suspending spring sports for the foreseeable future, a Power 5 conference followed suit. The ACC decided earlier today that it will be suspending all athletics until further notice. While college sports has seen its fair share of struggles due to the outbreak, the NBA season has been suspended indefinitely. This happened after it was found that a player on the Utah Jazz tested positive for the virus. It all started as a joke by Rudy Gobert, who decided it would be a good idea to touch all the mics after his post-game interview. Gobert tested positive for the coronavirus on Wednesday. After figuring out that Gobert contracted the virus, the Utah Jazz decided to test the entire team just to be safe. After the testing, they found that Donovan Mitchell is also positive for the virus. Mitchell reached out to fans on Instagram. The biggest takeaway from Mitchell's post was how he slammed his teammate Gobert in his post. He said, "We are all learning about the seriousness of this situation, and hopefully we can continue to educate themselves and realize that they need to behave responsibly both for their own health and the well-being of those around them." While it's not fully calling out Gobert, it's kind of a passive-aggressive attempt to let him know that what he did wasn't okay. After being called out by his teammate and understanding the severity of what is actually going on, Gobert also took to Instagram, issuing an apology shortly after Mitchell made his post. Gobert wanted to make sure that his apology was seen as sincere by saying, "The first and most important thing is I would like to publicly apologize to the people that I may have endangered. At the time, I had no idea I was even infected. I was careless and make no excuse. I hope my story serves as a warning and causes everyone to take this seriously." You can tell that with the words, he is very sincere about this. You can hear the emotions just within the text, and I think he actually did learn his lesson. With the NBA being off the table, there will still be hockey, right? Wrong. The NHL has decided to pause their season where it is at, and decide if the season will continue at a later date. However, with all the changes in the sporting world, we don't have time for the final part of the show, fact or fiction, which means there will be some time before I am able to answer all 11 questions.
We'll get to see when you answer those 11 questions. But as far as spring break goes, any plans, anyone?
Well, with as low as the flights are right now on the planes, I'm ready to hop on. As I like to say, I'm not here for a long time, I'm here for a good time.
Okay, I feel that. I saw a flight to California for like $70. I'm like, I'm ready.
So cheap. I'm just ready to go. So.
I might just do an impromptu flight to California.
Let's go.
All of us.
Well,
spring break trip.
I disagree. I'm going to buy as much hand sanitizer as I can possibly get my hands on.
Find any.
If I can, and just stay in my house, maybe.
Well, hopefully everyone has a good spring
Let me know
break.
how your trip goes.
Well, that's all the time we have for CTV News. We'll be back after spring break, but don't forget to follow us on social media at CTV11 on Twitter and Instagram.
And tune in to see everything that has transpired over the break. And remember to stay safe, Rams. We hope that you all have a great break and stay safe. Good night.
Good night.